Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, karibu, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always making time to come and be with me. I'm shooting this video on Jamhuri Day, so I decided to just rock my t-shirt, my favorite, a t-shirt in my favorite color, and of course representing Kenya, Jambo, Kenya, and happy belated because by then you're watching. It's already, belated. So happy belated Jamhuri Day to all Kenyans. Kenya is beautiful. Kenya is a beautiful country. If you've not been to Kenya, please make a point to visit. So anyway, today is not about travel. I just want to talk about long distance relationships. Yeah. Yesterday, I was actually watching a video by TMI Podcast, and they were trying to wrap up the year. It was the last episode, and I remember when they were going through the how the year has been. Murugi was sharing on how this year was affected when her marriage changed from being man and wife being in the same house to them being long distance. So I think the husband went to the UK for some time, and then so they had to do long distance for a few months. And she really, went into details of how that alone affected her year and her marriage and her family in general. And it actually got me thinking. And I was like, I can't believe that I have been doing long distance for 3 years at the moment. So 3 years marriage, long distance marriage, and then 4 years long distance relationship. Because then I met my husband, and in a year we were married. So that 1 year of us dating, it was still long distance, and then now being married 3 years, still long distance. And as she was speaking, it also got me thinking so much about this, and it's something that I think most of us just walk on eggshells about. We don't really want to talk about it, we don't want to address it, but it's something that needs to be talked about, right? And so I said, you know what, let me also share my perspective, let me share what my experience has been. So, for perspective, when I was dating or when I was starting my dating life, for me, long distance was not in the books. I was not one to do long distance. And in that case, before, because I was dating in Kenya and I was dating Kenyans, so people within Kenya, for me, long distance then meant if you're in Mombasa and I'm in Nairobi, or if you're in Kisumu and I'm in Mombasa, nope. It was a huge deal breaker, honestly. And I don't know, because then I tend to be very needy. I'm very very needy, and I know myself, So I knew long distance would not have favored me, will not favor me at all. And then because I know some of the jobs that would by default put me in a long distance relationship or marriage, I had already avoided, and I told myself I'm not dating anybody who does that kind of job. So number one on the list was a doctor. So these are the men that were not in my list of suitors or people that I would marry. So a doctor, a police officer, military guy, and pilot. So it's actually very, very funny because I feel like God answered my prayer, because my husband is a veteran, so he used to be in the military. And before we met, he went to Afghanistan, Iraq to fight, for the US. And 2 years before we met, he quit military and came into the normal workforce, and by the time I was meeting him, he was already, a veteran. So in his, because we met online, for those who don't know, if you're new, in his photos on the profile, he had uniform on, U.S. Army uniform on, and so when he texted me, and I'm looking at his photos, and I'm seeing like a U.S. Army photo, and I'm like, But of course, when we got talking, that's when he told me. So I was asking him, "So are you in the army?" And that's when he tells me, "No, I was. I'm actually a veteran, so I was, but I left." So I was like, okay, well, luck is on your side, because if you're still in the military, I will not have given you the time of day. I've already cancelled, people in the army, from my list of men that I would date, because I am very needy. Me, I'm very, oh gosh, I'm needy. I'm needy, and I know it. You know, I'm very, very needy. I don't know how many times I've said that, but I need to say it. I'm very, very needy. So I didn't want a situation where I will put myself up for failure and heartbreak from the onset, because me being very needy like this, and my husband has to be deployed, or I'm here, we are just having a good time, with my doctor husband, and the phone rings, there's an emergency in the hospital. Even if we're like trying to have sex, mission is abolished because he has the bigger calling. I was like, no, 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 no. I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that. So anyway, um, what that in itself also, and not going through this whole process of long distance, I actually look at families of people in the military, all across the globe, for all the armies in the world. And I look at people, families of the police officers, and I honestly respect them. Like, I have extra respect for families, especially of the military guys and the security guys. Like, most especially the military. Like, I salute you. The wives, the husbands, and the kids of these people. I think they're the true heroes. I think those are the true heroes. Oh, I salute you, and I cannot do what you guys do. I can't. So anyway, fast forward, dating, and eventually I met my husband, and this guy is from the US. That's where he lives. And of course, we are talking, and so in the first days of talking, we're like, okay, so are you comfortable in your country? Are you open to moving and stuff like that? And yes, of course, we agreed, okay, yes, if this was serious, I don't mind moving to your country or to another country. And he also had the same thing. So you see, for us, then there's that aspect of, even if he's in the US, he's willing to move, and I'm also willing to move. But first of all, we get married, have a baby, and we even start, okay, we decide that I'll be the one to move to go join him. I was the easier one to move and go join him. And so we start the process, of facilitating that move for me. And the process is still ongoing. It has not, finished yet. And so, as we are waiting for it to finish, it means we have to do long distance, because then he cannot leave his job at the moment. And his job is not one that he can work remotely. So, somehow, inevitably, we have to do long distance. And I'll say that is my situation, that is our situation. So, I keep looking at families, and I give a lot of respect to all those families who are doing long distance, even here in Kenya. And it's like sort of like a semi-permanent thing, because then it's your job. You don't know when you're going to be posted where, and you definitely have to go, because then you need the money as a family. And maybe there's no plan for either of you to move to come join. And even if maybe you wanted, if both of you are teachers, if both of you are police officers, if both of you are in the military, you see, some of those things, that decision is sort of like made for you or on your behalf, and becomes very, very hard. So I completely understand. But then I look at that and I'm like, I don't think I can do that, honestly. And now that I've even been in long distance, something that I was really against, and something that I never thought I would do, and I didn't want to do it even from the onset. 100% yes, I will not do long distance, and I honestly do not advocate for it. I don't. Circumstances do force us to be in long distance relationships, but they're not the best. God created marriage to be enjoyed within the confines of the same physical space. It might not be the popular opinion that people want to hear, but that is how God decided or created marriage. This whole thing of, oh, I have to go and work and do for money, it's honestly just something we've made because we need to, because we need money, because the family needs to eat, the family needs to be fed. Like, there's no other option. But then I also look at this other category of women who, and I was like, I'm never going to be that woman. That one I knew from the beginning, and I was not about to change. This woman that her husband works in Nairobi and she's living in the village. No, 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 no. And we actually met in Nairobi. And so after marrying, we realized it would be cheaper for us to for me to live in the village and you in Nairobi looking for money. No. I was actually listening to Jemima Thiongo, giving her story, her life story, and it's such a beautiful story. But then, at some point, she did exactly that. She had to now move to the village and stay there as the husband is working. I think he was working in Mombasa, and she said she does not encourage that, and she actually does not advocate for that to happen because it it's I don't know what to call it, but listening to also people that I look up to, and hearing them saying that no, 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 just avoid it if you can. It makes me feel like yes, I think it's actually what is supposed to be done, but then sometimes we do what needs to be done, which are two different things, right? Then that leads me to the question of, do I advocate for long distance relationship? Do I don't. Like, you can do long distance for, and let me just tell you guys this. I feel like for me or for our family, it's manageable because there's the hope and the plan to end the distance. That waiting to be reunited, I think keeps, especially me, going. But if there was not that plan, that by the way we will be relocating, or there will be a plan for either way of you, for either him to come and we stay together, like that plan, I don't think. And I believe there are marriages that actually run like that. People just live life for now and they really don't have sit down and plan, okay, so you're working in Kisumu, I'm working in Mombasa, or vice versa. What is the end goal? How long is this gonna happen? Are we gonna be like this forever? We're gonna raise our kids like this? Because let me tell you, being a single mother is hard already. So imagine being a single mother and you're married. Like, it's just the worst place you can be. Sometimes I feel very sad for myself because honestly, this is something that has been chosen for me. I feel sad, let me just say, for the entire family. This is something that has been chosen for us. And I say that because we have done our part, and the rest is for us to wait for the embassy and all those bodies involved to do their part. And we are still waiting. It's taking longer than it should, but then there's nothing we can do. Like, we have done everything within our power to make sure the process is hastened, the situation changes for the better, but it's not changing. And so I feel like this is something that has been chosen for us. And so I have to raise a child, alone, yet I have daddy to help. So he has to do it, via the phone or on the screen. And it's also unfair to him because sometimes he's missing out so much. Sometimes you look at them the way they're talking and you can see he really misses the baby. It's so now I can't imagine me and my family. This has been chosen for us. There are families that sometimes I feel like the man chooses and they don't involve the woman, and it's just like, this is what happens and this is what we're gonna do. And because the woman really has no say, they're like, okay. And then there are other families that really they have no choice. It has they they, they they're in a situation where they can't really make a decision or even choose for themselves because the need for money or the need for the job supersedes whatever it is that themselves they need. I think I'm making sense. But all in all, what I'm saying is, if you can avoid long distance, please avoid it if you can. As a woman, if you have a say, as a man, if you have a say, as a family, please avoid it. Me, right now, I tell my husband, when I come, I don't know what you're gonna do, but I do not want you or me to take up a job that demands for odd working hours. Like, I need to recap the things I've missed. I need us to, like, be the family, that I've missed, and not be like distracted by work or stuff, and the other thing also that we have decided as a family, if we ever get a job offer or any kind of offer that needs us to be away from each other, it's a definite no. I do not care how much money it's making you. If we cannot all go, then it's a no. Because we have experienced firsthand what long distance does to marriages and to relationships. It has its pros, but the cons outweigh the pros. So it's worth it in the end, but like the suffering is too much. What I'm saying is, if you're a young couple and you've just started, or you're just dating, or you're just engaged, and you're wondering, there's a possibility of long distance, and you're wondering what to do. Um, Please, even if you're gonna do it for 1 year or 2 years, let there be plans, and solid plans, not the plans of the man promising you and he's not working towards the plan. Solid plans of closing that distance, because it's not healthy. It's not healthy for anybody. It's not. It's not, it's not, it's not, it's not. I think the other aspect of why our situation is a little bit harder is, if I wanted to go and visit my house, sometimes it could be okay. I mean, Mombasa, so you miss someone so much, and they're like, you know what, I'm coming. I can't stand this. But for us, the case is not the same. I cannot, like, if I wake up and today I'm like really in my, ovulation stage where like I just want to cuddle and I'm missing someone. I can't just say, okay, I miss you so much, I can't stand this, I'm coming. We don't have that luxury. I can't. Why? Because I can't travel to the US. If I was to apply for a visit visa, 99.999% I'll be denied that visa. Why? Because I'm already in the process of another visa. So with the US, the minute you started an immigrant visa process, then you somehow become like, chances of you getting an a non-immigrant visa become next to impossible. You understand? They always ask you to just wait. So in this case, I cannot apply. So if my husband is not the one coming, or we're meeting in a country that's visa free for me, then there's no way I can travel. Whoever does the US visa process things and the immigration system, your system is messed up. Your system is so messed up. Because I honestly don't understand why you've decided that your process will take time, and it's going to be very lengthy, because then you're doing so much of paperwork, if you are. Then why don't you have like a provision to where people can still meet? I could still go visit my husband and come back as we wait for permanent residence. Maybe it's a whole mixture of things that I have no control over, or I don't know. Anyway, all I'm saying is I can't travel. So when I miss him so much, I just have to talk to him, you know, and deal with it. Yeah. Yeah. So that was just me sharing and ranting, and I don't know, but I hope it helps someone out there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, remember to be kind to one another, love one another, and treasure every minute you spend with one another, because tomorrow is not promised. Ciao.